there, Chef Jeff here at White Apron Catering in Lake Worth. Today we're going to make a Tres Leches cake for you. Pretty simple. We got a little 3 milk, great dessert. Kind of reminds me of my dad. He always used to pour the milk over the cakes every time we had them, so this one's for you. So we've got some cake. I went ahead and I made a sponge cake up for this. I'll go ahead and we'll include the recipe in, but go ahead and use that one. Use your favorite yellow cake recipe or box cake, whatever you want to use. So let me grab that real quick. But I've got one that just came out. So this one came out of the oven a little bit ago. It's still warm. So what we're going to do, we're going to get it ready. The 3 milks that we're going to use, I've got some heavy cream, a little evaporated milk, some sweetened condensed milk, and a little vanilla. Real simple. I'm just going to pop this cake out. And you can do it, you can leave it just like it is. You don't have to pop it out. I flip it out and turn it upside down, and that way I get a nice flat surface for the top for when we're finishing it off. So, like I said, either way is fine. So I'm just going to use a little piece of parchment. I'm just going to flip it out. And then there. And then we've got the nice flat surface for the cake when we're finishing it. And then back in there. Now you do want to do this while it's still a little bit warm or room temperature-ish. It'll help the milk soak up. So this is pretty well set. And then all we're going to do is we're going to take and poke some holes in it. Grab a fork or tongs or a little skewer, whatever you've got that's handy. And like I said, we're just going to poke some holes in it. And this will help, again, help the milk soak right in there. So I'll just get a few in there. And that goes all the way down through. Try not to beat the cake up too much like I'm doing. But that's good. And we're going to set this aside for a second. And then get a little container for your milks. We're going to do about a cup of cream. And you can measure it or don't measure it. And we'll save the rest of this for the topping. We're going to do 1 can of evaporated milk. Just give it a little shake. One can of evaporated milk and 1 can of the sweetened condensed milk. And like I said, I'd do a little vanilla in there. If you want some cinnamon, you could add some cinnamon in there. It'd be delicious. But I'm opting out of that one today on this one. And then we're just going to mix this up real well and soak that in there. And now you're going to want to let this soak in there for probably, I would say, at least a few hours. I like to do it the day before so it soaks in overnight. Like I said, you can just give that a nice stir. Use a whisk if you want. And we're going to add a little vanilla in there too, maybe a teaspoon or so. I think the non-measuring thing makes me not a great baker, but we still push through it and do what we do. And once you get this all combined and nice and smooth, we're just going to pour it right over the cake and let it soak in. And yes, it does look like a lot, but it's going to soak it up and it's going to be just better. All right, I think we've got that pretty smooth. Maybe no. You know what? Maybe we are going to break down and use the whisk just to kind of help. Get it all mixed. Get a nice, even mix. Oh yeah, that's better. All right, so then we've got our cake, and we're just going to pour this right on there. And like I said, you're seeing that, and it's filling it up. and you're going to try to get in all those holes we just made. And yes, it almost looks like it's swimming in there and you've still got the mixture left. Use the whole thing because it's going to soak it up. All right, so we've got that, and like I said, you've got that there and it looks like it's swimming. I'm going to let that sit for 4 or 5 hours, 4 hours, and then we'll finish it up. I've got one just about ready, so let's take a look. All right, so we've got one that's been sitting overnight, and you see all that extra cream, all that extra delicious milk is all soaked up in there, but it is juicy and delicious. So now we're ready to go. I'm going to set this aside for just a minute. And to get that ready, we're just going to top that with a little whipped cream. So I'm just going to whip up some of that cream. We've got some of the cream still left over, a little powdered sugar. Dress it up any way you like. You got some strawberries, do that. You want to do blueberries, do that. I mean, whatever's floating your boat with that. Today, I happen to have some brandy-soaked cherries that I just love, so we're going to use those. And let's finish this up. So we've got a little bit of cream. We're going to whip that up. We got the rest of that quart. And we're going to get that started. And I'm just going to beat this up a little bit, get it starting to gel, and then we'll add the sugar in. All right. All right, now that we've got this, it's not really whipped cream yet, but it's starting to thicken up, and that's when we'll add our sugar in. So I've got a little sugar, and I'm just going to sift it through so you don't get the lumps. Now, this is already going to be pretty sweet, so you're not going to need a lot. So we'll just do a little sugar. Like I said, I don't really like my whipped cream that sweet, so. And a little bit more. Well, it might add another little touch of vanilla to that. You could do some rum. You could do vanilla. And certainly you could do this in a machine. You could do it with your blender, not the blender, but the mixer. You could do it in your stand mixer, whatever. I prefer to do the whipped cream by hand, only because then you're seeing it happen, and you're not going to overbeat it. It's not going to turn into the butter. So you just get it to the point where you're getting the nice peaks on it, and that's it. Okay, and then we'll bring our cake back, and let's finish this up. And we can bring that on there. And how much do you put on there? As much as you like. So we're going to pretty much fill this up. And you could do this with a pastry bag and a tip. You could just do it with the spoon and leave it sort of rough. You want to smooth it out a little bit with a spatula. Like I said, whatever's sort of floating your boat there. Look at that. I think we're just going to use all of it. And now, I've got a cake comb. I'm just going to use that. I think it gives it just like a little, it's still sort of little rustic, but it looks like you took a little time with it. A nice even ground there. So we're going to do that. And it's sort of fun to play. It's like when you were playing in the sand when you were a kid at the beach. And do you have to get it perfectly smooth? No. And then this, We're going to get a couple of these cherries. And like I said, I've got some of these brandy-soaked cherries that I just love, and we're just going to drizzle a few of those on top. And we might even drizzle it with a little bit of that juice just to make it, give it a little color appeal. You want to hit it with a little sprig of mint. Got a little fresh mint. There we go. So here's our tres leches. I hope you enjoy that. Let me know what you think. Go ahead and like, subscribe. Any comments? Thank you very much. Again, Chef Jeff here at White Apron Catering in Lake Worth. Enjoy. Thanks for watching.